Hello, all you amazing people. It is Riley LH here with another video, and we are back with the practically turbo Miata at this point. Like, we have just about everything checked off the list. Now, yes, I don't have my turbo on. I'm also working on another video installing the turbo downpipe, buttoning all that small stuff up. But today we're going to be installing this boost controller. Now, I was going to be installing this electronic boost controller, but with my ECU, it's really complicated to wire in. So it's definitely possible, but it's not something I'm going to do just yet. And I only have a few days until this drift event in New Mexico, so manual boost controller it is. So pretty much we're going to find a good point to mount this, somehow find a way to make a bracket for it, and then go and plumb it up. Now, a good rule of thumb with boost controllers is you want it as close to turbo as possible, but I also want to keep this away from the heat so we're not going and messing up the boost controller. So we're going to have to find a place for it, make a mount, and find somewhere that I'm happy with. So that's what I'm going to tackle first. I'm going to figure out where I want to put this. So I've come to the conclusion of where I want to put this boost controller. I want it away from the hot side of the turbo, but I also don't want the lines to be too long. So I'm going to pretty much take out this fender bolt right here, slide a little sheet of sheet metal in there, and then just have the boost controller sit right there. I would do it here, but yeah, that will hit right there with the style boost controller I have. So I guess let's take out this fender bolt and make a little sheet metal tab. Okay, so we're going to make this bracket about 1 inch by 1.5 inches by 1 1/8 inches. So we're going to mark 3 3/4 on a random piece of sheet metal. And then we're going to mark about 1.25 inches long. And then our width we're going to do 1 1/8 inches. And I would use my square to make a straight line, but I don't know where that is right now. I think someone took that. So we're going to be innovative and just use a file. And now we just cut this out with an angle grinder. Okay, that's our little sheet metal bracket. So we can go ahead and mark this so we can bend it in the vise. So we have our marks at 1 inch and 1.5 inches. So let's go ahead and bend this up. I remember my first big sheet metal project was making my intake. And to bend the sheet metal, I was bending it over pieces of wood because I didn't have a vise. Okay, now we just hammer this down. I'm just realizing, I have a metal brake. Why am I doing this in the vise? We're already most of the way done now, we might as well just see it through. And there's our bracket. It was that easy. Well, like, now we do have to drill holes, but that's about it. But first off, let's go ahead and test it in the car. Okay, so now that should fit in right there. And that fits beautifully. So we're going to go ahead and mark that with the Sharpie. And honestly, I don't feel like taking it out and center punching it, so whilst we're here, I already have my center punch literally right next to me. Let's go ahead and center punch it. So we're going to put it dead center, give it a few little taps, and now we can go ahead and drill this. Now we just drill through it. Okay, so now we can go ahead and drill the other side. Okay, so now we have our boost controller in our bracket. We're simply just going to slide that in. And that fits honestly perfectly. I have absolutely no complaints with that. The bolt should fit straight through, so let's go ahead and disassemble it. And then we'll chuck some paint on it after we file it up. Okay, so now we're just going to chuck a couple coats of paint on it, and then we can chuck it back on the car. And just like that, the boost controller setup is done. Now, it is months later, and this has held up really good. I've already had it at 2 drift events, and it worked great. Now, yes, we are going to be switching to a electronic boost controller. There is some benefits to it. I just simply didn't have the time beforehand, and if you just want a simple turbo setup to work, and you're not really caring about being the fastest, and you just want to up your boost, manual boost controllers work great. So pretty much it just comes off the turbo, and then it goes into the wastegate, and it tees it off, and pretty much it's like pinching the hose. The less air that makes it to the wastegate, the less the wastegate will open, which means it will make more boost. And I've been running this on around 10 PSI, and it was enough PSI to blow the head gasket completely. And now we're switching to an external wastegate, that's why we have our little screamer pipe right here. And the same setup will work for the external wastegate setup until we eventually go and switch to the electronic boost controller, of course. Instead of it going to the wastegate up here, it just goes to the wastegate down there. But if you guys learned anything from this video, or just purely enjoyed it, like, follow, subscribe, all that, it would mean the world to me. And I hope you guys all have a great day. See you guys all next time. Peace out.